weeks, actually. So I'm excited to see so many people here celebrating reading. There isn't anything more important in anybody's education than reading. It takes you everywhere you need to go. And kids nowadays, I have to tell you this story about when I decided to run for this position, because I vividly remember it. It was the day that I Read 3 was actually implemented in my school. And on that very day, I had a little one come to my library and say, "Mrs. Ritz, I don't need to check out a book. I just did well on my reading test." And I said to myself, what have we done to the children? They think that reading and the act of it is for a test. And I will tell you, since 2001, that's what's been happening in the state of Indiana and all over the nation with No Child Left Behind, to be quite honest. Kids have that sense that if it's not on a test, then why should I learn it? Because that's what we've been doing for that many years. So I am excited to be able to travel to DC, Washington, DC here next weekend, and I have on my docket to speak with some very key people regarding the reauthorization of No Child Left Behind and the flexibility that is needed at the state level for assessment. It is the most important conversation we're going to be having. It's probably going to be pretty robust, and it may even be controversial as to what it is we actually end up with. But I am excited to have that conversation. And when I was elected, I vowed that the discussion of public education was going to be public, that your voices were going to be engaged in the dialogue. So when you see me in the newspaper, you hear me on a radio, or you see articles around, it isn't about me. It's about me making sure that you know what's going on so that you can be engaged in the conversation. And that's what it's all about. That's what democracy is all about. It's making sure that your voices are heard with those who represent you. And those who you've elected or not elected to the House of Representatives or the Senate at the state level, whether you voted for the person that represents you or you didn't, they have an obligation to represent you. They have an obligation to listen to what you say. And I can tell you that when they're doing their third House meetings, they're hearing a lot from the education community and from parents and those involved in public education. And so you have to make sure that your voices are always heard. People say, you know, Glenda, what can we do to help you? And I just go, you do what you've been doing. You talk.